What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Godsey for the Justin Godsey Podcast. Thank you so much for checking out tonight's video. Today, guys, we're continuing on with our list of the 2014 NFL quarterback rankings for the 2014 NFL season. We're here at number 29 here on my list, and we're talking Geno Smith of the New York Jets. Now, Geno Smith is one of my favorite quarterbacks to talk about on this list, as there's just so much stuff to break down about him, but I'm going to try to condense it for you guys so you guys can get, the long story short, and we can just, move on throughout our list. So, like I said, Geno Smith comes up at number 29 on my list, and a lot of people are asking, why is Geno Smith at 29? Geno Smith last year, let's look at his stats last year. 12 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. That's not good at all. A lot of questions for Geno Smith going forward. Down the line of the season, he did finish off the season on a high note with 3,046 yards. That's probably the only plus that you can get out of him, as he accumulated, the yardage more than the touchdowns, last season. So Geno Smith, what's Geno Smith's chances of starting in 2014? Now, this New York Jets team did make a lot of additions. They added, two quarterbacks into the mix. They added Michael Vick from the Philadelphia Eagles. They added Taj Boyd from the draft. They also went in, they got Shaquille Richardson. They got Jacoby Ford. They got Jalen Saunders. So a lot of, and David Nelson as well. So a lot of moves, and Eric Decker. So, there's been a lot of moves offensively going in for the New York Jets going into the 2014 year, especially the offense. I like what they have on defense. There's a lot of improvements on both sides of the ball, but you know what? It all relies on one man. We all know what this defense can do with Shaquille Richardson leading the way, the NFL's Rookie of the Year last year. Him leading the way on the defensive side of things. But you know what? Can the offense produce? Can the offense produce under Geno Smith? Now Rex Ryan said that this is going to be Geno Smith's year to start again. Now, a lot of people are questioning his authority because you have Michael Vick into the mix. Taj Boyd's going to be a project quarterback. He's going to be a guy who's going to learn and develop under Michael Vick and Geno Smith, honestly, because when you look at it, Michael Vick is that lengthy veteran, and when you brought Geno Smith into the organization last year, there was not a veteran quarterback on this roster that he can really learn under. He was pretty much learning under Mark Sanchez, who at the time was having a big roadblock thrown in front of him. Inability, his increasing chance or his decreasing chances of starting down the line. His future remained in doubt. It was the defense pretty much bailing him out of a lot of big game situations. The Jets were just not going in the right direction. Rex Ryan's future was at hand, and a lot of it was to blame on the performance of Mark Sanchez. So I would say half the failure could have laid on Mark Sanchez, but it's Geno Smith's job to go out there and start, and he really put a big impact on the field, and he did not do that last year. But you know what? Like I said, he did end the season off throwing it for a handful of yardage, and it is a good sign going forward, because when you look at my past quarterback rankings, I really just threw him down onto the mud and said, what, there's nothing really going on this offensive side of the ball, because what you have on offense is what's going to make your team a contender for the playoffs and a possible Super Bowl championship. And you know what? If Geno Smith can go into the 2014 season with what they have now, this is going to be a complete turnaround from what he had last year. A lot of people will be thinking secondly on what Geno Smith can do. I don't like bashing a lot of quarterbacks, but last year was just a very horrendous year for Geno Smith, a year that we all want to forget about him. His rookie year, that rookie year was to make an impact. Every single quarterback on who started last year, as a rookie, you have to make that big impact. Or if you're a rookie in general, you want to make that big impact, because you're competing for a job. You're competing for just about your entire life here in the NFL. You're competing to get that cash. You're competing to get that starting role. And Geno Smith, when you honestly look at it, he failed to do so. That's why they're bringing in a veteran that Michael Vick can take underneath his wing. He's taking, guys like Taj Boyd, Matt Sims, Geno Smith underneath his wing. So I think that Michael Vick being a presence on this quarterback depth chart is going to help out Geno Smith a whole lot with his command, his arm strength, because he tends to throw the balls over his receivers a whole lot last year. So you know what? It's a great presence to have Michael Vick on there. But like I said, not only did the Jets team get better on the offense, they also got better on defense, because we all know what this defense is capable of. This offense, like I said, is also very stacked. I think if they do not make the playoffs this year, they do have a much improvement on the wide receiving core. They brought in Santonio Holmes a few years ago, expecting him to have pick up from where he left off with the Pittsburgh Steelers, having tremendous years with them. He is no longer a member of the team, as he's still in the free agent market. They brought in Eric Decker, who who, pretty much left Denver for, he left Denver for the cash. He was getting much more money here in New York than he was going to get out there in Denver. He wanted to be a number one as well, and he wasn't going to get that because, we got Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas, Wes Welker. So, he was pretty much, landed in at number 3 on that roster. He's coming over to a Jets team where he's going to be number 1 on the depth chart, the number 1 wide receiver to go to, the number 1 option for a Geno Smith. So when we really look at it overall, I think Geno Smith is going to have a much improved year than last year. I'm expecting a lot of big things. I think Geno Smith is a guy on my list right now that can control his own destiny, and he can rise up up my rankings board for the 2015 year. But we'll just have to wait and find out what Geno Smith can produce on the field. I do expect a lot out of Geno Smith this year. Like I said, with the additions of Decker, with the additions of David Nelson, Jalen Saunders, Jason Morrow, another big piece right there from the draft as well. I think he was the first or second round selection for the Jets, as they also had a handful of selections as well. So let me hear your guys' opinion about Geno Smith going into the 2014 NFL season. What are you expecting for Geno Smith? You guys heard what I had to say. Now it's my turn to let you guys, speak your mind on Geno Smith. I'm Justin Godsey for the Justin Godsey Podcast, and I'll catch you guys at number 28 on my list.